Hello and welcome back to the Battle Room. I'm, of course, the Battle Room. And today I am joined by the teams from the largest tournament of all time. This tournament was absolutely insane. Like, the amount of people who entered and the amount of teams and data we have on this tournament is absolutely astronomical. So it's still going. I'm not going to break down every team. I'm not going to even break down 1% of the teams. We're just going to break down the teams that top cut. Obviously, there are so many teams that you can look through. You can look through by Mega, by Pokemon if you really wanted some inspiration. So I will link this down below. Obviously, if you want to check out all 6,000 teams, you do have access to them, which is actually incredible. It was played on Limitless, which is just amazing. Every single team, even this 4-2 drop team, like boom, we have their open sheet. Now this video will be just talking about the open sheets and kind of analyzing the meta. There won't be any I'm not going to put any like EVs or ways to train the Pokemon. We're just going to talk about what the information is on the website, just to break them down and kind of give you a general overview of where the meta is and what you can kind of expect moving forward. So we'll start here with VGC Corner. So yeah, again, no EVs. If you want to make the EVs, you can make them yourselves. It's really not, it's very daunting, but I promise you, just using 32-32 is a great start to any team as you are learning to play this game. But with that being said, let's hop into these teams. So we're going to start with VGC Corner. VGC Corner placed 20th, which is still obviously out of 6,100 people, 20th is really incredible. VGC Corner also goes by Brady, by the way. Brady's an incredible player, a regional champion, multiple day 2s of worlds, really solid, consistent player. And Brady's running a very cool team. I think Gengar Palafin is mad slept on. I think Gengar Palafin is really, really good. I was testing it a bit before this tournament as well, and it was feeling pretty strong. Brady's rocking that Gengar with Shadow Ball, Parasong, Disable, and Protect. It is still a Parasong team here. Everything on the team has Protect outside of the Scarf Hydreigon, but everything has Protect but him. And the main idea is obviously you have the Parasong mode with Incineroar. Very easy to set up, very easy to execute, and something you have to respect at all moments. And then the Palafin actually has Encore as well, which is really, really cool. Like, something you could do too is just lead like Gengar Palafin, Mega Evolve, switch to Incineroar, and you're instantly putting a ton of pressure with Parasong on, and then you just slowly play the song out, and then Palafin clean up the 2 Pokemon in the back. It's a very, very cool team. I think Brady really cooked with this one. I might steal it tonight. I might steal this one tonight. This one's looking sick. But Encore is something that I just didn't even know Palafin learned, which is very cool with Disable as well. Palafin is also a very fast Pokemon, so it is a fast Encore. Then we have Pelipper here, who's mainly just here to set up the rain. Citrus Berry's taken on Incineroar, so Leftovers is on Pelipper. It's a very bulky Pelipper, clearly. With Wide Guard, Muddy Water, Hurricane, not even Tailwind, which I guess makes sense on this team because you have 2 very naturally strong fast Pokemon with Gengar and Hydreigon, and then Palafin relies on priority. So Tailwind really isn't going to do too much for you outside of counter enemy Tailwinds, but Pelipper is also really, really slow. So setting up Tailwind for countering Tailwind just isn't super worth it, which I think is a cool and smart choice. Wide Guard is also just a very, very good move in the meta right now. We're seeing a ton of Rock Slide spam, Heat Wave, Dazzling Gleam from Floette. There's just so many spread moves. Spread moves are always very good in VGC, but right now, Rock Slide is king, so having Wide Guard makes a lot of sense. Then we have the Citrus Berry Incineroar with Fake Out, Darkest Lariat, Parting Shot, and Protect. A pretty standard set, I would say, for these Parasong Incineroars. Yeah, you just Fake Out, you have Intimidate, you help the Parasong mode go really, really well. Protect is very, very important so that you're able to stall on the second turn of the Parasong. And then we have Mousehold with Encore as well. Encore Disable on 2 Pokemon. Encore and Disable is obviously a very deadly combo, but I do think that it is a little bit like, I think it's, I don't want to say slept on because I don't think it's slept on, but I think it is very, very strong, and I think there should be more of it. Maybe that's the definition of slept on, but I think there should be more of it, and I like that Brady is using 2 Encore users paired with this Disable Gengar, because again, he traps you in. You can't switch. Brady has this awesome like rain offense mode with Palafin. He's got a Parasong mode with Gengar and Incin, but then he also has a double Encore lock with Disable mode. With 2 of his Pokemon. I think it's a very, very cool and well-made team. And then we have Scarf Hydreigon. Scarf Hydreigon is really cool because it beats Basculegion. And Basculegion is one of the most annoying and hardest Pokemon to beat in the game right now. He's very, very good. But Scarf Basculegion slower than Scarf Dragon. So you're able to outspeed KO with Dark Pulse. Obviously you can't trap Basculegion in, but just having the ability to threaten him and then make him switch and something else becomes trapped is really, really nice. Because again, only ghost types can switch on a Parasong. So yeah, just an incredible team from Brady. I think he really cooked with that one. I'm a fan. Next up, we have Dimsun. Dimsun is actually a really good friend of mine. Toller Webb, also known as the 2012 Senior World Champion and the 2015 like national champion as well. It wasn't NAIC yet, it was just nationals. He's also a regional champion, so he's an incredible player, and he's rocking this Gardevoir Mousehold team. I kind of expected there to be more Gardevoir Mousehold as well in this tournament, but I think this is the only one in cut. We'll have to wait and see. I literally just got off work and just breaking this down, so I haven't like actually looked at these teams that much yet. I did look at Toller's teams yesterday because he is my friend, but Toller's team, Gardevoir. Gardevoir is honestly not a bad Pokemon. I think what's really cool about Gardevoir is that it does have access to Trick Room. That is the one benefit you have over Floette, is obviously being able to set up Trick Room. Having speed control of Trick Room and also with Tailwind is really obnoxious for your opponent to deal with. So I think it's a good move, right? You're able to potentially press Follow Me Trick Room, and then you have a Basculegion and a Kingambit who can potentially sweep in Trick Room, because things are just so fast that these two Pokemon are slow enough to become certified Trick Room sweepers. Also, Gardevoir is very like, I don't think it's good into Floette, but it's solid into Floette because it's able to abuse Floette's Fairy Aura and hit both Floette and his partner with huge hyper voices. So I think there is some value in that matchup, but I think Gardevoir is definitely very viable and something I'm very interested in seeing how it goes, because I think it could win tournaments, but it just kind of depends on the build. And I think Toller has one of the best builds in the game right now. If you're trying to use Gardevoir, I think this is it. Then Mousehold. I think Mousehold is really essential to the way Gardevoir functions. Mousehold gives the entire team Friend Guard, but Gardevoir loves Friend Guard. It's got very good stats. Gardevoirs also run very, very bulky, so you're able to exemplify that and allow Gardevoir to become really bulky and just deal huge damage with Hyper Voice. Sometimes you just protect the mouse. And not only that, Mouse can enable the damage with both Super Fang and Helping Hand. It allows Gardevoir to get KOs that it shouldn't. Super Fanging a Floette and Hyper Voicing it is brutal work. The Floette doesn't want to take that. Nothing wants to take a Hyper Voice plus a Super Fang. And then not only that, it also has Helping Hand to potentially power up both targets getting hit by Hyper Voice, right? Like Hyper Voice is now just powered up and I'm hitting both for insane damage. And then again, Protect is really essential for Mousehold because you just want it to live really, really long. Then we have Kingambit. Now, Toller went kind of crazy with it. Toller was using a Black Glasses Kingambit prior. Toller just barely missed cut. He went X3 in the last tournament, the Victory Road $10,000 tournament. This is the $10,000 tournament part 2. This is another $10,000 tournament. But in that tournament, he ran Black Glasses. But in this one, he's running No Protect Kingambit. Kingambit is one of the best Pokemon in the format, obviously, but No Protect? What? That's insane. Toller was smoking that good shit and he went crazy with it. It's a really cool choice because Kingambit right now really suffers. Like, low kick is great in the mirror. Awesome move to have. But if you don't have low kick, or if you run low kick, that means you usually don't get to run Iron Head, because Sucker Punch and Kowtow Cleave are very, very good and kind of non-negotiable. But if you don't have Iron Head, you're weaker to Floette. But Toller said, nah, I don't need that. I want both. No Protect. Which is a crazy choice, but kind of a cool one. And I think it paid off, clearly. He made it to top cut in this tournament. And then next up, we have Citrus Berry Basculegion with Adaptability. I think the Citrus Berry set is very, very good. Basculegion is just one of the best Pokemon in the game. But Citrus Berry allows, I think on this team specifically, it functions amazingly in Tailwind and in Trick Room. And I think that's the real benefit of this Basculegion. It also is a very good switch-in defensively. He's a very bulky Pokemon naturally. So I think it just fits the vibes of the team. And I think it's a great pick from Toller. And then we have no item Talonflame. No item with Acrobatics. Toller ran this last week. I think Acrobatics Talonflame is very, very good. A lot of the Sneasers are running White Herb, so you just one-shot them with Acrobatics. They are getting bulkier. They can live dual Wing Beats, but Acrobatics, no way. And also, items are just such a hot commodity in Pokemon Champions that running no items on Acro feels very, very good. And then Flare Blitz is really good fire coverage. Tailwind, that's essential to the way this team is functioning. Gardevoir loves Tailwind, so having Tailwind is awesome. And then we have Garchomp. Garchomp is just the best guy. He's one of the best guys in the whole game. Choice Scarf is kind of an interesting choice, but just having that speed is just really valuable, especially because there is no other Choice Scarf. So I think it's just a good item to put on your team, and it also just allows Toller to have another really, really fast Pokemon, specifically in Tailwind Mirrors, that he can use as a pressure point, right? Because Tailwind Mirrors can look a little bit awkward if he's not setting up Trick Room or is unable to. So having this Scarf Garchomp is really cool. Also, you can pair it with the Telepathy Gardevoir and just spam Earthquakes. So it's kind of a cool pick. I think Toller's team is really cool, and if you're trying to use Mega Gardevoir, that's the one. Next up, we have Kaz Z's team here. We have Aerodactyl, Mega Aerodactyl. We have Mega Frostlass as well. I feel like Mega Frostlass teams are definitely very, very solid. I would say they're kind of on the rise as well. I think the one thing about Frostlass is I do think that Charizard is very annoying and awkward to play against. But with the Mega Aerodactyl, you're chilling. Having Mega Aerodactyl is like, it's like cheating against Charizard. He's so good in the Charizard teams. He's very obnoxious. He's a little annoying to kill as well because he is so fast. He hits Shadow Rider speeds. So I really like the combination here of Mega weak to Charizard, Mega that beats Charizard. I'm a huge fan of that in the current format, and Mega Aerodactyl is usually the guy who beats Charizard. So a really great choice from Kaz here. And this is just kind of the standard Frostlass set. I think it's just really goated. Like Shadow Ball, Blizzard, great stabs. With Aurora Veil, it allows your other Pokemon, specifically Basculegion, King Gambit, even Garchomp, they become very, very difficult to KO. So I think having Aurora Veil is super valuable. This one actually is running a Sash Basculegion set, which I think is also good. Like, it's Basque, right? You can really just run any set. But I really like Focus Sash as well because he just becomes even harder to kill. Scarf is very hard to kill because he's so fast. Sash, you're telling me I have to put 2 hits into this guy to make sure he goes down? Hell no, that's brutal. So I think that's another great choice as well. Sneasler is just that really standard set. I think Sneasler is really important for Frostlass teams because it's very good into specifically enemy King Gambits. So having Sneasler is just really valuable. Also, it just helps as a lead because you're able to fake out Aurora Veil and just get going, and it makes all of your Pokemon bulkier, including Sneasler. King Gambit, he's the GOAT. This one is actually a low kick set, which I do think I like as well because, again, you can't have too many answers for King Gambit, right? We have Sneasler, we have King Gambit, because we have Frostlass, Basculegion, and Aerodactyl, who all do suffer a bit against enemy King Gambits. So low kick, great choice. Garchomp over here, we got Citrus Berry Rough Skin. I think Citrus Berry is really cool with Aurora Veil because Garchomp is already very, very hard to KO. Give him that Rough Skin, or give him that Aurora Veil, and he's gonna be even harder to KO. He's also just one of the best Pokemon in the game, pairs incredibly well with Aerodactyl. I think this is a really good build in terms of Frostlass. I think Frostlass, again, has a lot of depth, and I think Frostlass is here to stay and is probably one of the top 5 megas. I think Frostlass is really, really strong. Again, its big weakness is Charizard, but that's easy when you can run 2 megas. Next up, we have TKL. TKL is kind of running a much more like protect the Floette team. Oh no, we have no Calm Mind though. Okay, sure. Yeah, it's kind of a protect the Floette team. We got Mousel, we got Incineroar, but we're kind of just protecting it so it can deal more damage with Gleams and Moonblasts, and also Super Fang. I feel like it functions similarly to Gardevoir in that way, where if you just run Mousel with Floette, nothing in the game can survive a Super Fang plus Gleam, or a Super Fang plus Moonblast. Like, it's not happening. You're not living that. Taunt is also a very, very valuable move, very rare to see. In this format, there just aren't a lot of Taunt users, so having it on your mouse, that's sick. Chople Berry is obviously very good because it allows you to live Sneasler close combat. And then we have that Focus Sash Basculegion again. It's just so annoying and so hard to KO in the late game. You also have Tailwind to help enable it, and you also have Mouse Hold to protect it from hits so that it is able to get off more last respects and deal more damage. I think the thing that's cool about Basculegion with Focus Sash as well is that you get to run the Adamant nature. The Scarfs actually need to run Jolly because they need that speed to outspeed very important threats like Aerodactyl and Delphox. But on the Sash versions, you don't need that. You get to run Adamant, Max Attack, Last Respects. One of the strongest Last Respects you can get outside of if you ran like Life Orb, which isn't in the game. I think that's as strong as it gets, is just Adamant, Last Respects. Then we have Citrus Berry and Incineroar. Incineroar is really good at both helping Floette live longer and also just enabling everyone else. Incin is still good. He's just not being used as much as he used to be, but I still think it's a really solid choice. And again, he can enable both Floette to deal more damage or just to help set up a Tailwind. And then we have, or to set up a bulk up. Then we have Corviknight with leftovers. I think Corviknight is still just a really, really good anti-meta pick. It matches well into Sneasler, into Floette. the Gardevoir, decently into stuff like Aerodactyl as well, good into Garchomp. He's just very, very strong. He just has some big, brutal problems like Charizard specifically, or the Rotom forms. But I still think he's a very strong pick if you're able to enable him. And I think this team can do that with Maushold, with Incineroar. We have Bulk Up to set up, we have Tailwind, we have Roost to survive forever, and then Brave Bird is our only damaging move, which is pretty normal, I think, with Bulk Up. You're probably wondering, like, hey, what about Iron Head to hit Floette? Brave Bird does a lot of damage. And again, he can't be intimidated. Then we have Choice Scarf Garchomp. Again, it's just a really good speed ceiling to have. I think specifically into stuff like Basculegion, who can take a chip, who takes a little chip. Having this guy in the late game to potentially pressure him, to kill him if he is low, is really, really nice. He's faster than a lot of the other Scarf users. And again, it's just a fast, good Garchomp. He gets to run a little bulk, a little more damage. He's scary. And then we have Floette. 3 damaging moves, which I didn't expect at first glance, but I still think this set is godlike. It's one of my favorite sets for Floette. It just feels like insane. It just feels like Flutter Mane, but like a little slower and a little stronger. Like with Light of Rune especially, you just one-shot anything. Yeah, Floette is so powerful, and that's probably my favorite set for it. Next up, we have Julio. Julio's an incredible player, and we have our first Scovillain team. I can't remember his accomplishments right off the top of my head, but I swear, dude, he's like literally in every European top cut or just barely missing it. He's very, very consistent and very, very solid. So we have Scovillain and Frostlass. Two megas that I think are kind of weak to Charizard, but he made it work. Not only did he have 2 megas, he has a third. I didn't even see the Tyranitar right. So he has triple mega? That's insane. I like it though, because I think that Tyranitar can function very, very fine without its mega, but still double weather, triple mega. He's cooking. He's cooking. So I do feel like Basculegion and Sneasler, they can function just on any team. They can be brought every game, and they're useful and they're strong. Same with Corviknight for the most part, but having Tyranitar for the Sun matchup against Charizard, that's so solid. That's funny, because I do think Charizard's annoying for both Scovillain and Frostlass. But he said, nah, that's fine. I'll just Mega my Tyranitar and just smack him with the Tyranitar. Choice Scarf Basculegion, as always, very, very consistent, very strong, paired with that White Herb Unburdened Sneasler. Again, once you get close combat off, you get double speed, or if you get intimidated, double speed. Are we kidding? That's broken. Scovillain is very, very strong. Being able to burn all the physical attackers in the format feels good. And I think Scovillain, he's not done yet, dude. We're not done seeing him. I think he's going to do very, very well. And I think he might win a tournament. I think he's very obnoxious to deal with. He can enable his partners so well. And it's just something you have to respect, because it's hard to not get burned. It's almost impossible. You have to have a really strong special attacker, and even then those are few and far between. Then we have this Corviknight again with Bulk Up. This one actually has Iron Head. No healing move of Roost, but Iron Head, Brave Bird to help deal with those Floettes, and just a lot of damage with Brave Bird and Tailwind. Then we have that Frostlass again with Aurora Veil to enable basically everything here. And then again, Tyranitar. So crazy to run triple mega, but at the same time, I do think Charizard would have been a problem without it. So just a crazy pick, and just a really incredible one, because it did get him top 16 in this tournament. He is in the money. Next up, we have C North. C North's team is pretty cool. I feel like this is a very, very solid and good Gengar team at the current moment. It's got double stabs so Gengar can be an obnoxious and strong Pokemon to attack with, but then it also has a really good Parasong mode, again with this Protect Incineroar. So we have a Parasong mode, but we also can just deal damage with Gengar. I think Gengar is a very strong Mega. We're seeing it pop up a little bit more and more. I think he can just be very suffocating, especially in open team sheet when you have all the information. A good player can plan out the entire game in their head. He pairs incredibly well with this Never Melt Ice Alolan Ninetales that has both Encore and Disable. So if they are trapped in against Gengar, you are going to not be able to move and you're going to struggle, which is very, very annoying, but also very cool for the team. Then we have this Incineroar that just kind of enables everybody, but also specifically helps with the Parasong mode with Gengar. Then we have King Gambit. King Gambit, again, is just one of the best Pokemon in the game. I feel like this is a really good, balancey version of Parasong, right? Like, we have really good Pokemon in Dragonite, Sneasler, Alolan Ninetales, but we also have, a really annoying Parasong mode with Encore Disable, with Fake Out plus Parasong. I think it's just a really cool blend of the team. King Gambit is just a good Pokemon, pairs well with them. Trapping something in with Gengar can be really brutal, especially if King Gambit comes in and can just keep Sucker Punch pressure up. Then we have Unburdened Sash Sneasler. Also, again, helps set up Parasong if we want it. We have double Fake Out users to be as annoying as possible. But yeah, Sneasler is just still a very good Pokemon, and Sash is a great item. Then we have Dragon Fang Dragonite with Multiscale. I think Dragon Fang Dragonite is pretty cool because it can one-shot enemy Garchomps specifically. There's two Pokemon that are just really good in a Garchomp, and I think Garchomp's one of the best Pokemon, so it makes a lot of sense to me. Also, having low kick is really awesome for King Gambits. Multiscale is going to keep you alive, and then Extreme Speed is awesome as well because it allows you to just pick off low HP targets who are trapped in from Gengar. I think this is an incredibly built team, and I think this one, we're going to be seeing a bit of this one going forward because I think it is a really good start to moving Gengar forward, because I think Gengar was just missing, like, he was kind of missing that really good Gengar team, right? Like, I feel like Gengar was just, there wasn't like a really strong version. Like with Charizard, there's 8 different teams. But with Gengar, we're just kind of missing it, and I think that could be the one. That team looks incredible. Next up here, we have Marth. With Aerodactyl, Garchomp, Floette, Basculegion, Sneasler, and King Gambit. So again, we have that Mega Aerodactyl to help deal with the enemy Mega Charizards, and then we have Floette, who hates Mega Charizard. So they pair really well together, but also Aerodactyl's great because you can pair it with Floette, and you can just start spamming Tailwind plus Dazzling Gleam, and you have a good day, and it's fun. So I think Aerodactyl functions both of those roles, the Charizard killer, and optional second Mega. Then we have Citrus Berry Garchomp, which is just becoming more and more popular. I think it's just good. It just makes him so hard to KO. He's already annoying to kill. There's very little like actual ice moves and also like fairy moves outside of Floette. Floette will kill him. But outside of like Floette, there's just not much that's like one-shotting him. So having Citrus Berry just means he's way more durable. He can trade better with Sneasler, trade better with enemy Garchomps, and he's kind of chilling. Again, this is the really offensive Floette, which I think is very good. I think this Floette set is just, it's just the best one. It just does so much damage, and that's all it really needs to do. It's your Mega Pokemon. Then we have an Ironhead King Gambit with Tropical Berry once again. Ironhead, again, is just mainly for the enemy Floette Mirror. They clearly think it's valuable, which I agree with. Right now, Sneasler is really the only thing that's hitting Floette super effectively, so running King Gambit with that Ironhead makes sense. We got Wet Herb Sneasler. It's here again. Very, very good. And Sash Basculegion. Sash Basculegion is looking very, very strong right now. We're seeing a lot of it. I think it is obviously very, very good. A lot of these top players are not using the Scarf set that I think is so popular and so strong, but instead using Sash, which counters the Scarf one in theory. You know, 1v1, you do win. So I do think it's kind of an interesting choice and an interesting trend that we're noticing. Next up is Hoj. Hoj, this guy is crazy good. He's a crazy team builder, and he just makes it so hard to play the game. I've played against Hoj at the World Championships, and every turn, it feels like a 50-50 because of what he's leading, but at the same time, he has so many tools to help enable himself have the edge that it's not really a 50-50, but instead he has these leveraged pieces that you might not even realize he's doing. And once again, he's got his Hisuian Zoroark. He ran this a little bit in Reg H. Clearly, it's coming back. He is known for playing Ursaluna, Blood Moon specifically, but unfortunately, Blood Moon isn't in the game, so he did tweet out that this is his new Blood Moon. So this team is absurd, by the way. If you notice, every single Pokemon on this team can be Zoroark. And you're probably saying, Colin, there's an Intimidate Arcanine. They're going to know it's him. It's Rockhead. Rockhead Hisuian Arcanine. So the Zoroark can disguise himself as that. I want to talk about Zoroark first because I think this set is diabolical. So Shadow Ball makes sense. Stab, Ghost move, useful, strong, just a good move, right? Will-O-Wisp, awesome move. Good to burn a lot of the physical attackers. Garchomp, King Gambit, just a good move to have. Icy Wind, awesome move as well. Slow him down. You don't know it's him. He slows you down, and now Arcanine can pick you off or something. Psychic. Psychic is crazy and criminal. Now, every single Pokemon on the team can be Zoroark. And if you lead Sneasler into this, at any point, one of those Pokemon could Psychic you and kill you. It is so funny and so evil that I absolutely love it. Otherwise, this is just a very, very offensive Tailwind team, in my opinion, right? We're setting up Tailwind with Fairy Feather Whimsicott, which is kind of neat because you're pairing it with Floette. So these Moonblasts do a lot of damage. I think it's kind of a cool partnership, right? And then we have this triple axle Serena. We want to stop fake out. We just also want to stop priority moves. I think priority moves are very, very good in this format. King Gambit, instant fake outs. What else we got? Aqua Jets, right? Their priority moves are good. Extreme speeds from Dragonite. So I think having this allows you to just really abuse your Tailwind, but also I think it's just good in the meta. Low kick also kills King Gambit. Triple Axle's great coverage into the Dragons and Garchomp. And then Power Up, just having a good grass move to hit the bulky waters feels lit. So we got all that. We've got Tailwind with Floette, so we can deal big damage. Then we have a Sash Aegislash, who is... This is a crazy set, but I think it's kind of cool. Close combat again to hit enemy King Gambits. Poltergeist is just a nuke, but Sash just allows you to play really, really aggressive, and your opponent has to call you on it, because if they get the aggression wrong and they try to double into you and you protect, gotcha. You lose a turn of damage, right? So I think it's a very cool set to run on Aegislash. And then again, this Hardstone Rockhead Arcanine to just slam people with Head Smash is hilarious. Hoj is always one of the craziest team cookers in the whole game. Next up here, we got a Charizard team. We got Charizard, Floette, Sneasler. Yeah, okay, Charizard. This is the first Charizard we're talking about. I think Charizard and Floette create a really, really good combo. I think that they play off of each other really, really well. That's the combo that I used. Charizard just, he's good in the things that he's not good into. Floette is manageable, and I also think that they're just so broken and so good that you can just interchange them in a best of 3, and it just gives your team a lot of diversity, right? A lot of the Pokemon that beat Charizard, Garchomp, Rock Slide, Floette is fine into, and vice versa. And sometimes you just can bring them to catch people off guard. I think it's a really good combo. We'll talk about them a little bit more later. Black Glasses King Gambit is great. Solar Beam, Weather Ball, Heat Wave is like the normal Charizard right now. It's just really important to hit Basculegion. This King Gambit with Black Glasses allows you to one-shot Basculegion, which is also very valuable. Iron Head for the Floettes, because they do have Sneasler, Garchomp, Floette. They do have a pretty good King Gambit matchup, so this makes sense. Then we got Light of Ruin, Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast. Just 3 attacks. Floette is so good. Sash, Dual Wing Beat, Rock Slide, Tailwind. This guy, he's fallen a little bit. We haven't talked about him much, but he's very good at setting Tailwind and putting pressure on with both Rock Slide, Dual Wing Beat, and more Tailwinds, right? Like, he just makes your team very, very fast. Sneasler helps with that. We have Gunk Shot as well, to make sure we're one-shotting Floettes, and also it does one-shot Scovillain, so that's kind of a cool tech. Close combat is very strong as well. And then Choice Scarf Garchomp, once again, pairs really well with Aerodactyl and Charizard to spam Earthquakes and just get going. I think Scarf Garchomp is still just very strong. It also allows you to just Dragon Claw spam if they don't have a Fairy, which is honestly pretty strong. Next up, we have HQ. So we have, again, another Frostless team. This one a little bit more on the like offensive side. Like it's defensive because we've also got Aurora Veil, but also we have like a nasty Plot Rotom's crazy. We also have a Tailwind, Will-O-Wisp, Talonflame. That's fun. That's a cool set. Will-O-Wisp is fun on Talonflame. I think we could see that. I like that because burning so many of these physical attackers, you might just win the game. It's why Scovillain's good. So Will-O-Wisp, Talonflame is very strong. You can set up Tailwinds. Frostless can start spamming moves. We have a Soft Sand, Earthquake, Rock Slide, Garchomp, Black Glasses, King Gambit with Low Kick, and then again that nasty Plot Rotom. I think Rotom is in a pretty solid spot. He fits the team just so incredibly. We have Earthquake spam to put next to Rotom. We have Fake Out to set up Rotom, and we have Aurora Veil. So if this was going to be the nasty Plot team, this would be the one. But yeah, otherwise it's very similar to what we're seeing. I think Frostless, Garchomp, King Gambit, Sneasler is like a very strong core. I would just mainly say these 3. King Gambit, Sneasler, and Frostless is just very good. Again, Low Kick for the enemy King Gambits. Close combat. It puts a lot of pressure on them. I think it's just a very strong core. But we have a nice little fun Tailwind EQ spam mode. So I think this team is pretty sick. Next up, we got Figgy Monster with an absolute insanely sauce team. So we have Sunny Day Whimsicott paired with Scarf Typhlosion. I think Scarf Typhlosion's fun. That's cool because I think it's just strong because you don't even have to set up Tailwind. You just Sunny Day Eruption, and most Pokemon are going to get smacked by it. He outspeeds Basculegion as well, so he could hit it with a Shadow Ball before it moves. So it has some utility when it's not doing that. We have Serena as well to protect you from Sucker Punches, which I think is smart. I think it's what you kind of have to do because if you don't have Serena, Sucker Punch is just going to blow you up. Then again, we have those 3 attacking moves on Floette. Paldean Tauros for Intimidate and also our water coverage, and then a Culberberry just strong Dragapult. Psychic Fangs does one-shot Sneasler, and Dragon Darts is pretty valuable, so it's kind of cool. Sucker Punch as well, it also enables you to hit enemy Basculegions before they move, so kind of a cool anti-meta pick. That kind of interests me. Dragon Bolt kind of interests me. With seeing that said, that's all great moves and good utility to have. Yeah, maybe he's sleeper. It clearly did really, really well. I think Serena does fit the pacing of the team. Again, this is just hyper offense. I'm setting up Tailwind, and I'm gonna hit you with spread fairy moves, spread fire moves, or big damage with Mystic Water, Paldean Tauros. Very cool team though. Next up, we got Chiju with Talonflame. Oh, okay. So this is like, I feel like this kind of build, like I think Floette, Talonflame, Garchomp. I would say Aegislash 2 usually is on the team. I think these 4 are like a really godlike core. Usually you see Incin. It kind of depends on Milotic. Milotic's cool too, but these 4, very, very solid. This one's actually Calm Mind, so we want to fake out with Incineroar to help enable the Floette to get going and be annoying. We have Sharp Beak, Dual Wing Beat to try and one-shot the Sash Sneaslers, but also, again, we have Sharp Beak and Tailwind, so pairing that with Garchomp is really, really nice. We got Soft Sand with double ground moves. No Dragon move as well. That's crazy, but we do have Milotic and Floette to help with that. And then we have Aegislash. I think Aegislash is important just as a pivot, but also just like as another Floette check, because if you don't run Aegislash, like Garchomp, Talonflame, Floette don't really like enemy Floettes, so I think Aegislash is just kind of valuable in that way, and this is kind of the normal Aegislash set. This core just feels very strong. You have Dragon, Fairy, Steel, you have really good defensive options. You just also are using some of the best Pokemon in the game. You have a fast Tailwind mode as well. I'm not fully sure what Milotic's there outside of just deterring Incineroar, and also just helping with Garchomp, but I'm a big fan of those 5. Milotic is neat though, it's cool. And now we are officially into top 8. So the first team we have in top 8 is a, holy moly. So this is a Sableye Mega Venusaur team. We have Encore Disable Sableye. That's crazy. Let's start with Sableye. So we have Rain Dance to help enable Arch, to reset up the weather. Also just really great in a Charizard. Will-O-Wisp to burn all the physical attackers. I like that. I think Will-O-Wisp is very strong. I think it's really good. Like, again, Scovillain's good because it burns things. Why can't Sableye be good? And then Encore Disable as well. No attacking move in Sableye. Pair that with Mega Venusaur, who just has stabs. Venusaur is just hard to kill in general. We've got stabs and EP. This is an obnoxious guy to kill, especially on Rain is brutal. And I feel like it just trades so well. I feel like the main idea of this team is to just trade really, really well early game with Venusaur and then clean up with Scarf Basculegion or Archaludon. Then we have Sash Kingambit. I'm going a little backwards. I think Sash Kingambit is very, very strong. In the current meta, he's just one of the best Pokemon, and this kind of allows you to run him like max speed, max attack, and just get value out of him. You can play a little risky with him. You can keep that pressure, especially on enemy Kingambits. You're always going to outspeed them because you're probably max speed. I think it's kind of neat. I think it's kind of cool. It also allows you to outspeed specifically stuff like Incineroar as well, because you're just running so much speed. You actually become a better matchup into Incineroar than you normally are. Then we have Scarf Basculegion. Need I say more? He's godlike on Rain. He pairs really, really well because Venusaur, I think, can trade very effectively in the early to mid game, and then this guy can clean up with Last Respects. Then we have leftovers Arch. I think Archaludon is very good. I tested him a lot prior to this tournament as well, and I think people are sleeping on him. It doesn't surprise me to see him here. I think that he just needs to be like used a little differently, and I think his function needs to be a little different. But I think the coverage and the matchups he provides, like especially if he gets his stamina going, can be pretty good. Like obviously he's not going to one-shot you with Body Press, but if he gets a couple staminas and one Electroshot off, he's going to sweep your whole team with Dragon Pulse and Flash Cannon. So I really like Archaludon. I think he's good. I think he's a little slept on. Pelipper. This is a bulky Citrus Berry set. We want to win the Weather War, but we also just have insane utility with both Hurricane, Weather Ball as our damaging moves, and then Tailwind and Wide Guard. Again, Wide Guard, super good and valuable move. So yeah, I think this team is really cool. I like the way it functions. It's very, very bulky, but then it has enough offensive pieces to keep the pressure on and keep you going. And then next up, we have Michael Derbesti. Michael Derbesti was literally playing in a regional and then decided to play in this tournament. He went 4-4 in the regional, and then he decided to go 15-3 in this one with Mega Gengar once again. He was using Mega Gengar prior. And again, we see that Encore Encore Ninetales, he's not even running Parasong. He's just running like Gengar control balance, right? So we have a little Ninetales who can Encore disable with the Gengar. I think Ninetales is just very good with Gengar because you want a weather changer, but setting up rain isn't like the greatest thing for you because rain teams are annoying and hard to deal with. But if you're able to change it to snow, it helps with rain and with sun. I think it's kind of a cool idea. Obviously, it's a little tricky in practice to bring a little Ninetales into a sun matchup, but I think it could be done. And I think that is, I think just having weather is just important in this format. Then we have Wash Rotom. Wash Rotom pairs really well, plays really well into sun and rain, especially if you can change the weather. I think he's also just like a strong, good Pokemon. Wisp is good. Volt Switch is cool momentum, especially paired with Gengar. And then we have a Culver Berry Aegislash with Poltergeist, Shadow Sneak, Sacred Sword, and King Shield, so it allows it to potentially put pressure onto enemy King Gambits. Scarf Garchomp, I think a Scarf Pokemon paired with Mega Gengar is always good. Like being able to keep that pressure on them and then trapping them in against a Pokemon that's always faster than them is very strong. So I think Scarf Garchomp works really well at that. It also has Rock Tomb. So if you have Garchomp and Gengar, you could Rock Tomb and Shadow Ball Scarf Basculegion. I think it's a cool option. And then we have a Shuckleberry Incineroar who's just here for Incineroar things. He provides Intimidate and just bulks down and helps the entire team. This team looks suffocating to play against, both with Encore Disable, but then also just being trapped in against Wisp or the Scarf Garchomp. It just lets a good player be good and keep that pressure on. Next up, we have Testing 800. So we have Rock Slide, Dual Wing Beat, Tailwind, Aerodactyl. We have Skullvillain as our Mega of choice and our only Mega. It just allows Como to go crazy, right? You set up the Klingorious Soul, you have a Rage Powder Leech Seed bot next to it who's impossible to KO, and as long as they don't have a Fairy type, you're chilling. And if they do have a Fairy type, we have Dire Claw, we have Iron Head, so we can keep that pressure on with these two Pokemon. But yeah, it's just kind of like enables Como. This is like a Como team, I feel like, because you have Tailwind. You also have a really good Pokemon, Citrus Berry Basculegion. I don't remember if this is our first Citrus Berry, but I think Citrus Berry is good. I think we saw one other one in cut, but I think Citrus Berry is just really strong. It just allows him to be very bulky. Oh, Toller had him, but it allows him to be bulky and allows you to have that. You can switch him in, you can pivot him, and I think it's really cool. He's a checkmate Pokemon still because you can set up Tailwind and let him go crazy. But yeah, also I did miss. It is Mega Aerodactyl, which makes a lot of sense here. I think Aerodactyl is so good, again, with Mega's weak to Charizard, Mega Aerodactyl's your guy. It just gives him such a solid and concrete matchup into Charizard teams, especially with Como, Sneasler. Like, you can easily just set up Tailwind, keep that pressure on, and then if they don't have Charizard, you just go Villain and let Como go absolutely nuts. Very cool team, and I think Skullvillain, yeah, it got 5th. I think Skullvillain is respectable and something that you need to be prepared for. And I think it's only up from here for Skullvillain. And then next up, we have Super Santee with a Gengar team. This is, I think, the same team that we already talked about. Yeah, it's the same team, but we'll go over it a little bit again. Again, we got that Parasong mode with both Incin and Gengar. The Gengar teams are looking good in this tournament. The Gengar teams, he's on the rise, dude. Gengar is on the rise. I think by the time we get to Indy, he's going to be the guy to beat, potentially. But yeah, we got the Parasong mode. We have this Encore Disable Ninetales. You can pair it with the Gengar, you go nuts. You also just have the Dragonite, who again I think is very strong, and King Gambit strong. It's just a very well balanced team with a lot of different modes that I think the Gengar player has control of, right? Because again, you can't switch. If he sets up Shadow Tag, you're not switching. He controls when you get to switch and what you get to switch. So I think like having that suffocating style of play paired with multiple modes, right? Like, hey, I trapped your guy in, you're locked into Earthquake, I brought in Dragonite, he's gonna kill you now, right? Or you just say, hey, I trapped you in, I'm playing this very slow Parasong game plan where you led incorrectly and I'm gonna slow it down, Parasong you lose 2 Pokemon and I win. Or once again, trapping them in with Encore and Disable. I think it's just a great team. Then we have Samuel T here with Aerodactyl, Garchomp, Aegislash, Floette, Wash Rotom, and Incin. This is kind of what I was talking about again. Like, it's got that really good core. We have a really strong Floette paired with this Aerodactyl who consistently will give us Tailwind. Then we have a strong White Herb. Okay, White Herb Garchomp's crazy with Swords Dance, but hey, we got Incin. We can set him up. But you have this strong, really offensive Rock Slide core. Now our only issue is enemy Floettes, which we have Aegislash for. He's got Iron Head, he's got Poltergeist, Poltergeist, he's doing a lot of damage. Rotom also works famously here. You can spam Earthquake next to him. We have 2 Earthquake partners. It's awesome. He also can burn things and enable Floette further with those Wisps, but also just hitting really key and important Pokemon like Corviknight. Also being good into Rain. He's got some value there. He's just a really solid, good Pokemon. And then Incin. Charcoal's crazy for the damage, but Incin also, I think, just fits the flow of the pacing of the team. He can intimidate big threats, keep Floette alive, but he can also just like fake out and help Tailwind set up, or Parting Shot early game and bring in Aerodactyl so you can start going nuts with a Nerve, or just Parting Shot into Momentum, right? Like Parting Shot is just a great move. I don't know why I picked Aerodactyl in that example, but you could just lead Floette, Incin, Parting Shot, bring in Aegislash, and you're just putting a ton of pressure on. So I think he's just a good Pokemon always. Next up in second place, so we're in finals now, is Mega Umbreon VGC. Mega Umbreon's team here is pretty sick. So we have Frostlass, Sneasler, Kingambit. I've harped about how awesome they are over and over again. But what I think is really cool too is like, normally I think Incineroar is like, okay, he's solid, he's a strong Pokemon, but pairing it with this Milotic makes a lot of sense, because I think Frostlass is weak to Incineroar specifically. Like Incineroar, he gets his little paws dirty and grubby, getting so excited to body Frostlass Kingambit, because although Kingambit's deters Incineroar a little bit, I do think that it is kind of nice into him. So having more Incineroar hate, oh my god, dude, you can't bring Incineroar in this team, which also further enables this Dragonite as well, who I think is a great pick. Again, Dragonite showing once again that he's pretty solid. He trades well with Garchomp with Dragon Claw plus Dragon Fang and Multiscale. He has awesome utility and extreme speed and low kick, hitting key threats like Kingambit, but then Tailwind is also just a really good coverage move or utility move, right? He's able to make everybody faster while also being incredibly bulky. And then this guy can also slow down the game with Icy Wind and heal and potentially reset up Multiscale. And also just healing in general I think is valuable when you're setting up Aurora Veil. I think this is a really, really good team. And then we have Focus Sash, Basculegion, which is just great. Like we've mentioned time and time again. But yeah, it's very similar to what we're seeing, but I think these 2 picks like really elevated. I think Dragonite, this was his tournament. For whatever reason, Dragonite popped off, but I think it makes a lot of sense. I think he's got a lot of strengths in the current format, and he was probably a little sleeper going into this one, but I think going forward, he's going to be one of the Pokemon to fear and one of the Pokemon to counter. But I think this team is sick. Tons of utility, tons of speed control. Utility's awesome. I worry about your matchup a little bit into Garchomp, but also having Dragonite is annoying. And you can also change the weather with Frostlass, so it can get a little bit dicey. But other than that, I think this team is a really good team. Trollberry Kingambit for the mirror with low kick. Yeah, we got double low kick. We're ready for the enemy Kingambits. We've got close combat. 3 fighting moves. It's enough to beat Kingambit, right? Like there's no way this team lost to Kingambit. It clearly has a great Kingambit matchup. But unfortunately, Kingambit did win the tournament, and it's your boy Moody Man, also known as Raghav, a friend of the channel, my good friend Raghav. Raghav actually won this entire tour. I genuinely can't believe, like, I believe it because I play with him all the time. I think he's an extremely talented and incredible player, but he won the whole thing? Are we serious? On this random Sunday? He won the whole tournament. Oh my god. I told him, dude, I said all you're missing right now is the confidence. You just need the confidence, and once you have that confidence that you can do anything, you're gonna be chilling. And I think this tournament was perfect for him. Obviously, we're gonna have him on the channel. We're gonna do a breakdown of the team that we both used in the tournament, but that Raghav actually won the entire tournament with. Yeah, I'm so proud of him. I'm so happy for him. He needed, this is a big dub for him. This is a big dub. It's a big dub for anyone, but the fact that, like, we literally were calling and playing the other night, and I'm like, he's like, man, I don't know. I don't think I can do it. I don't think I'm good. I was like, dude, lock in. You can do anything. And he popped off. He won the entire tournament, 19-1, only losing 1 match to testing and the Scovillain team. But wow, only losing 1 is crazy work. But yeah, this team is sick. So the idea here is that I can talk about this team because I used it as well. We've got Charizard and Eternal Floette, both double mega. They're just about dealing the damage. This is a Charizard team at heart. We are all here to enable Charizard and to make Charizard into the best Pokemon that he can be. So to do that, we have Wide Guard Aerodactyl with Tailwind. No dual Wing Beat. We're saying, hey, Charizard can do that big damage with Weather Ball and Heat Wave. We just need to keep him alive. I don't need to kill Sneasler. I just need to stop Rock Slide. So we have Wide Guard. And then we have Scale Shot Garchomp with Earthquake to pair with Charizard. It just allows us to put pressure on enemy dragons with Scale Shot, but also just the double ground moves. They're just good. We don't have Rock Slide, which is kind of funny. We have Rock Slide on him, and I think we're kind of saying like, hey, this guy will help us with Charizard. This guy can trade into Charizard and Charizard's friends fine enough that we don't need Rock Slide here, and we'd rather have the consistency of Stomping Tantrum, especially if Charizard or Aerodactyl are not on the field. Scale Shot was awesome. Scale Shot's so funny with Dragon Fang. It's not like it's kind of a gambling move. It really is, because like if you do hit 2 times, it feels really bad. But statistically, the odds are in your favor not to hit 2 times. And when you're hitting 3 Scale Shots, you're in heaven. You're feeling good. You're dealing so much damage. You're putting so much pressure on. You have the ability to potentially one-shot enemy Garchomps depending on their bulk. So I think it's just a very, very valuable and good move, and a cool tech option that we decided to run in this tournament that Raghav, piloted to great success. He told me, he was like, dude, I was just Scale Shotting them. And then we have King Gambit as well with Choble Berry, low kick. We just really wanted stuff for the enemy King Gambit mirror, but also you don't want to give up that Sucker Punch. King Gambit is just one of the best Pokemon in the game, so obviously he's here. Aerodactyl I talked about already with that wide guard, and then we just have a Scarf Basculegion. There's so many different checkmates you can set up with this team, whether it's enabling Charizard, setting up for a Basculegion late game, or just putting pressure on with King Gambit to allow everyone else to be softened up so Charizard or Garchomp can sweep. It's a really fun team and a really great introduction to I think Pokemon Champions. I think this is a great team to use. We're going to be doing a team review very shortly, so it will be out soon on the channel, and when it is, I'll link it down below so you can go check it out. But we will be giving away the EVs and stuff, so yeah, just wait for that shortly. We're almost there. But this is the team that won. Charizard's still on top. I think Charizard is very good. I think Floette is very, very good, and kind of our mindset going into this tournament was we should just use the best Pokemon, right? Like, this tournament is 6,000 people. 6,000 people. What is the point of making a meta call? Let's just simply use the best Pokemon available to us. And that's what Raghav did, and he played the best Pokemon of the weekend, and he deserved the dub. Congrats to Raghav for winning the entire tournament, and I can't wait to have him on the channel, and we'll see you guys next time. Peace.